I found out about the vacation while eating lunch alone in my office parking lot. That detail mattered to me later for some reason. The container of pasta balanced on my knee, the air conditioning humming softly through the car vents. Completely ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Then my younger sister Hannah uploaded a photo. Matching resort shirts. Beach umbrellas, my parents smiling beside turquoise water like they'd stepped into a travel advertisement. Family time finally. Einhansed, I stared at the screen for a long moment before opening the next picture, then the next. My brother Caleb holding drinks for everyone. My mother laughing at dinner. My father standing beside a fishing charter boat wearing sunglasses I helped pay for without realizing it. Nobody had mentioned a vacation. Not once. For over a year, I'd been sending my parents $600 every Friday after my father lost most of his retirement savings in a disastrous investment deal. One of his friends convinced him to join. At first, it was temporary help. Then it became routine. Mom would text, "You're saving us right now." Dad would say, "We'll stabilize soon." And because I loved them, I never asked too many questions. Looking at those photos, something uncomfortable started connecting quietly in my head. The dates, the timing, the expensive resort. I called my father before I could think myself into another excuse for them. He answered sounding distracted. "Hey, I swallowed once. Why didn't anybody tell me you were in Florida?" Silence. Not guilty silence. Annoyed silence. Then, "We didn't want you there." No yelling, no dramatic cruelty. Just exhaustion sharpened into honesty. I sat very still inside the car. Outside, people crossed the parking lot carrying coffees and talking about meetings while my entire understanding of my family shifted slightly sideways. "What does that mean?" I asked quietly. Dad exhaled hard into the phone. "It means every vacation turns tense around you lately." I almost laughed. Tense. I was tense because every conversation with my parents somehow drifted toward bills, transfers, or emergencies. But suddenly I understood something worse than exclusion. They had planned the vacation while continuing to accept my weekly money without mentioning where some of it was going. "I see," I said. Dad sounded relieved when I didn't argue. "That's all this is, Ben. Don't make it bigger." But it was already bigger. That night I sat in my apartment staring at the automatic transfer schedule connected to my bank account. $600 every Friday. 52 weeks. I tried calculating the total and stopped halfway through because the number made me feel physically stupid. Not used, stupid. There's a difference. I canceled the transfer quietly. No message, no dramatic speech. Then I closed the app and made dinner I barely touched. The first missed call came the next afternoon. Mom. Then another. Then Dad. By evening my phone looked absurd. Voicemails stacked one after another. "Benjamin, call us back. There's something wrong with the account. The hotel card got declined." That last one sat heavily in my chest. Not because I enjoyed it. Because I instantly understood how much of that trip depended on money I'd been sending. I didn't answer until Hannah called crying. Not manipulative crying. Embarrassed crying. "We're stuck waiting in the hotel lobby because Dad's card overdrafted." I leaned back against my kitchen counter and closed my eyes. "I didn't know you were using my transfers for vacations." Silence. "Ben, I thought you knew." That hurt in a completely different way. Not deceit exactly. Normalization. Somewhere along the line, my financial support stopped feeling generous to them and started feeling available. Caleb texted next. "You're punishing everybody over hurt feelings." I stared at the message for a while, then deleted it without responding. Late that evening, my cousin Natalie called privately. "You okay?" I told her enough. She went quiet for a second before saying carefully, "Ben, they planned that trip with your money." Hearing someone else say it aloud changed something permanently. Because suspicion still leaves room for denial. Confirmation doesn't. Dad finally called around midnight. His voice sounded older somehow. "We got used to relying on you." No defensiveness left. No pride either. I sat by the apartment window watching headlights slide across wet streets below. "You told me you didn't want me there." Another long silence. Then quietly, "That wasn't fair." It wasn't an apology exactly, but it was closer than my father usually got. Over the next few days, I helped them reorganize things remotely. Budget spreadsheets, separate accounts, actual limits, not silent rescue anymore. Boundaries. The hardest part wasn't stopping the money, it was realizing how often I confused being useful with being loved. A month later, we had dinner together for the first time since the trip. Nobody mentioned Florida, but the atmosphere felt different, careful. My mother asked about my work before mentioning bills. Dad listened more than he spoke. Small changes, fragile ones. Driving home afterward, I realized boundaries don't create instant peace. Mostly, they create distance first. Then, if people are willing, honesty gets a chance to enter the space where assumption used to live.